Hey PC gamers, and welcome back to the PC Gamer Chat Log. I am Lauren Morton.
Hey everyone, I'm Molly Taylor.
And this week it's just me and Molly, and we are talking about getting into online gaming.
None of those other losers from the team this week. Just the cool people.
Just us two gals talking about getting into gaming online. There were many different eras of this, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. That like you and I come from slightly different eras of like your introduction to online games. There was the really early like MUDs era and like the earliest MMOs. There was my era of like, you know, slightly later like WoW era MMOs. There was the weird online chat room games that you have lots of experience with, the Minecraft kids, the Roblox kids, and whatever's happening right now. So yeah, there were lots of different ways to get into becoming a person who plays games online with your friends. And we're just going to talk about, you know, some of the canon events, some core memories, some of the best and worst and things we should or shouldn't have been getting into at the time, potentially. But before we do that, Molly, what have you been playing lately? Do you know?
Don't ask me this question. Don't ask
Okay, all right.
me.
Full
Don't
transparency. Molly and I have back-to-back vacations or like trips generally. I don't think you're on vacation. We're just both not here right now.
We're not here.
So it's currently like 2 weeks prior to you hearing this. What games are we playing right now? We don't know. We have some guesses. Molly, what are you playing in the future, 2 weeks from now?
In the future, let me get my little crystal ball. In the future, I will be playing probably some Tekken actually. I got a tournament coming up. So
okay. Yeah.
And I haven't played Tekken in like a couple months because I've not been in the mood. I've not been in the mood. No, I've been playing. I played like a little bit offline.
Mm-hmm.
I was on a flight recently and I forgot to install stuff on my Steam Deck. This is different to the flight that I was referring to last week. I was on a different flight recently and I forgot to install stuff, but Tekken was on there, so I played some Tekken, but I haven't actually played in a meaningful way.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of being like severely drunk or trying to pass time on an airplane.
Not a great time for Tekken.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Like I got drunk like maybe like a month ago and I was like, let's play Tekken. And my friend was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, let's play Tekken.
Didn't go
my ass beat. No, it didn't go. So yeah, I'll definitely be playing some of that because I got a tournament coming. Oh my god. So much going on. I will have played some Kingdom Hearts on my Steam Deck as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that runs well. Hopefully I'll have played it actually. Hopefully it runs well because that will be cool. Yeah, more Nikkei. You guys know me at this point. You know, if I'm not gaming, I'm a mobile gamer at this point. I swear to God. It's like, what have you been playing? I'm like, the game's on my phone. So, that'll be me if my foresight is correct.
Yeah, 2 weeks from now in the future of right this moment, I should be playing Elden Ring. Yeah.
Oh my god. Sorry, Dawn Trail's coming out. I'll be playing Dawn Trail.
Is that right now?
Oh no, it's tomorrow. It is tomorrow. I will be playing Dawn Trail tomorrow. Thank you very much, everybody.
I was trying to figure out what date this is. What day is it? What day are we talking?
Math. There are too many numbers involved here.
All right, Dawn Trail for you. Yeah, and it's Elden Ring for me. I should be well and truly stuck into Elden Ring at this moment. Ideally, at this moment in the secret past, I haven't touched it yet, the Erd Tree expansion, but I should be playing a lot of it right now. I'm probably playing catch up if we're being 100% honest, because I didn't finish the game. You don't have to finish the game to get to the Erd Tree expansion. There's like a side boss, I think, that you have to beat. It's Moog, I believe. To get into Erd Tree, so hopefully I'm working on a build. Hopefully I'm in the middle of that. I wish I knew more about what's going on at this moment.
Well,
but that's my best
week.
Guess. Sorry, yeah, we'll be back next week and we'll tell you more about what we've actually been playing with real experiences. But for now, let's talk about online gaming. So, Molly, this is a thing that you and I talk about or like
Yeah.
around a lot because even earlier this year, we were
Mhm.
talking about like how we got into PC gaming as kids,
We
right?
did.
And for both of us, that kind of involved some online gaming, but we've never really devoted time to talking about like how we got into gaming online when we were
Mhm.
younger. And I feel like that's a very specific kind of experience. Like that's a whole there's like very specific things about learning to be online as like a young gamer that are different from just
Oh.
like, getting into edutainment games. Like this is a whole other topic. And not only that, but like because of the years when you and I grew up, like technology we know was in gaming was changing so fast that like every
Yes.
few years, like every batch of like every 5 or 10 years of kids has a very different experience of like how they got into online gaming. I mean,
Mhm.
some of the earliest things, and these were, you know probably not kids getting into online gaming, but like multi-user dungeons and some of the early MMOs, like Ultima, very early RuneScape, EverQuest Online, things like that. And then you
Yeah.
get like the second wave kind of MMOs, the World of Warcrafts, the Guild Wars, the like later, like the rise of RuneScape kind of. After that, the Xbox Live era, that's a whole era of getting into online gaming. And that is kids for sure. That's when all the young teenagers were getting into, uh, you know, Halo 3 and like GTA 4 on Xbox Live.
Yep.
There's the MMOs for kids era. That's kind of your territory. We're going to get to you.
Yeah.
And then after both of us, even after that, there's the Minecraft generation. That's a solid 10 years of kids
I
who got
think
into PC gaming online.
we may even be beyond the Minecraft era
Oh, we
now. We're
are.
in the Roblox era, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We are beyond Minecraft at this point. I think it is still very popular for young kids, but it doesn't
Mhm.
feel like that's like I don't know if that's like the central
The
canon experience that it once
Yeah,
was in like the year 2015,
that's exactly what
perhaps.
I was gonna say. I was gonna say 2015. Yep, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, now we're in like Roblox and like Among Us. I feel like Among Us was probably a more formative experience than we
Oh
give it
yeah.
credit for, right? For gaming online. Um and those other like social deception and like we're in the Discord era. Truly, Discord is not a game, Discord is a service, but like that is a very central experience to becoming an online gamer, whether you're a teenager or an adult, like in this era right now. So Molly, what was your first online game? Like how did you get into gaming online?
Yeah, that's a good question because I was trying to think. I was trying to use all of my brain power to think what my first online game was, and I am pretty sure it was Toontown. I have spoken about Toontown on this podcast
Mm-hmm.
before. If you have listened to previous episodes, you will know a little bit about my time with Disney's MMO, the MMO that came before Club Penguin.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Toontown was. It was also the reason that Club Penguin was a reason that Toontown got shut down. But I'm not salty about that. Mm-mm.
No.
So no, not at all, not at all. It must have been Toontown. If it wasn't Toontown, it may have been something like Puzzle Pirates, which I have
Right. You've
also
talked about that
spoken
too.
about. Yeah, which was the pirate. Well, it's in the it's in the name. It's
It's a
a
puzzle game
puzzle
about
MMO.
pirates, if you can
Yeah,
believe it.
it's a crazy, right? Crazy. Yeah, it's an MMO where you are a pirate and all of the various jobs on the ship are different puzzles. So
Mm-hmm.
those are the two at the very least the two that I distinctly recall having a lot of time in from a very early age.
And how old would you have been? Like, how old are we
Oof.
talking?
We would
Are you
say
under 10 years old?
I was under oh, absolutely. I was under 10 years old. Yeah, I was maybe like 8
Uh-huh.
or 9 perhaps. I was definitely under 10 years old because I recall playing RuneScape when I was 10, and that was definitely not my first online experience. So I
Mm-hmm.
must have been like maybe 8, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as we said, not that many years between us, but like significantly different experiences because of how things like
Mhm.
how fast things moved. Because My first experience with online gaming would have been I was probably 14, and it was Guild Wars, the original Guild Wars, not Guild Wars 2. And uh, I remember a friend at school telling me about this new game she had found. And I remember the way she described it to me. She was like, yeah, you play this game and there's other people there. There's other real people there. And I signed on to it.
Oh my
And
God.
I went to this place, and there was a group of people standing in a circle, and they were dancing, and there was a guy in the middle, and he was playing the flute, and then I ran in a circle around them, and
Oh
then
my
we were all
God.
chatting, and I was like, whoa, that sounds wild. Like, how cool is that? Because I think probably for several years prior to that, I'd already been exposed to like the fan sites era of the internet, which
Yeah.
sort of precedes you, Molly, but they may have still been around a little bit, where like people would have these very heavily CSS, like very customized websites dedicated to like TV shows and games and other things. There were so many Zelda fan sites on the internet at that point. And it was very common to have a chat room embedded in that site. And as we've talked about
Yeah.
before, just totally unmoderated. Like, where do those chat logs go? We don't know. People sign on onto this fan site and are just in this little chat room box. It's not connected to like MSN or some other account. This is just shooting it into the ether. I don't remember how they worked, but so I had a little bit exposure to like, online chat rooms, and like the early MMOs felt like they were an extension of that.
Yeah.
And that is what originally drew me to it, was like, oh wow, a place where there's other people like just doing wild things, and you don't know what's going to happen at any moment. Like, the internet is so cool. So what, like, I'm curious what drew you to playing games online then, because obviously for me the experience was like, you know meeting strangers online, which sounds is a horrible sentence in this day and age. That's a thing we warn children
Yes.
about, and we should have warned children more back then. Our parents just couldn't have known um, as well as they do now. But yeah, that was like the enticing bit of it. Like, wow, there are people in the computer. That was very like novel at the time. Still, instant messengers were still on the rise, and like that's not the reason people are drawn to gaming online now. People like pick up games because they already have friends, and they get a Discord account and make and like friend their own friends that they already have, their IRLs, and then you pick games to play together. I don't think there's as like the dominant culture is not like, wow, go meet strangers in an MMO the way it used to be.
Yeah, I don't think it is that way anymore. And for me, I don't really know. I don't know if I had enough brain formulation at the time because I was so young when I started
Yeah.
playing online games, right? I don't know if my brain was developed enough to kind of realize like the difference between this is what I'm doing with other real people and then this is what I'm doing by myself. I think I still could largely separate them into different experiences, but I think in my head it was almostly the same. I kind of just picked games based off whether I liked the look of them.
Mm-hmm.
And if they were online, they were online. And I think the reason perhaps why I would end up playing so many online games was down to the fact that a lot of them were free.
Mm-hmm.
If you looked at like the single player games, they were always the ones that you would have to pay for. They were always the games that you would have to like go to a physical store and buy and then come home and install like the 3 different discs, right? Whereas a lot of the online games, they were either like free with a subscription or they were just free. You know, Toontown Online had like a free tier and a subscription tier. Puzzle Pirates had a free tier and a subscription tier. So they were so much more accessible. And I think maybe that's the reason why I played online so much as a kid. Not because I wanted to meet people and I wanted to play with people, just because I was a child with such a severely short attention span and being able to just like grab as many like different games as possible and play them, and they just happen to be online as a result. I think
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that's I feel like that's probably true.
Yeah. What so that's how we got started in online gaming. Do you have like core memories from some of the later eras? Like, I have a lot of memories of Xbox Live era games. Like that was not my introduction to online gaming, but that was a whole different experience. And you were a PlayStation girl, so I don't know if you engaged with like, you know, the Xbox 360
I
mics
did.
on headset era stuff.
I did. So I was an Xbox person. I was PS2 and then
Hmm.
I was 360.
Okay.
I think that's the trajectory that a lot of people made. They went from PS2 to Xbox 360 and then I feel like it split off a lot for
Hmm.
people. So yeah, for me, I was there. I was there for the 360 era, but I also did not play online much. I played a fuck ton of Uno, like
What?
XBLA Uno.
You were playing.
I played so much fucking Uno, man. I played the virtual Uno, and I do have some form of recollection of you could use like the Xbox camera to
Hmm.
take custom pictures. I could be lying here. I feel like in Uno you could use the camera as like a webcam. I could be lying out of my butt, but I feel like that was a thing that you could do. I don't remember if it was ever used for anything salacious. Probably was.
Probably.
Probably was, but I did not do a lot of online gaming on my 360 apart from Uno and
Molly, how do you
Bomberman.
manage to find card games everywhere, though? You were playing Uno on your Xbox. You had a brief
Yeah.
period as a solitaire speedrunner. Lately, you've been obsessed with Balatro.
Yeah.
Someday, you're going to be an old lady with just like a card shark, like IRL
Yes.
going to the poker tables or something.
That's what I aspire to be
In our
when I'm
cyberpunk
older.
future, you are going to be like at all the virtual card tables.
I liked Uno, and back before they started letting indie games on the XBLA, because
Right.
that was a thing, right? There
That was
was
an
a
event.
time, yeah, there was a time where indie games were not on XBLA,
Yeah.
and then they were very hard to get on XBLA, so there wasn't actually like a ton of choice. So Uno and Bomberman, I played a lot of online, and then I played a little bit of COD, but that was
Yeah.
because I had a boyfriend that played COD. That
Yep.
wasn't because I wanted to play COD. That was because I had a boyfriend that played COD. So yeah, I didn't actually do. I always wanted to play Final Fantasy 11 because that was on the Xbox.
Same.
Always wanted to play it and
Had a
never
subscription,
did.
right? Didn't it?
No. Oh,
Oh, did it
oh,
not?
sorry, 11 did. I thought you meant did I have one? No, I didn't. I
Yeah.
never even got close. I never even got close. Yeah, I had a subscription and I think you had to pay for it as well, like
Hmm.
upfront. So I never
Hard sell.
hard sell when you're not making any money and
Yeah.
your parent is already paying for Xbox Live.
That's why I played Guild Wars as a kid. The original Guild Wars did not have a subscription, neither does Guild Wars 2. And versus World of Warcraft. Everybody else was playing World of Warcraft. And I'm like,
Yes.
I'm not going to ask my mother to put her credit card down for a however many dollars a month subscription to World of Warcraft. Also, Guild Wars was prettier and
Guild Wars is pretty.
it had nice character models and all that stuff, and World of Warcraft was more cartoony. But yeah, I have a lot of memories of the Xbox like online era too of getting into gaming because that still I think had the enticement of like meeting randos right online
Yeah.
in the lobbies. And like you, I played Halo 3 because I had a boyfriend who played Halo 3. And I look, we know to this day I don't play FPS games. That's not usually my bag. But I played plenty of Halo 3 headset on, and yeah, you would meet people, and sometimes you would like friend each other on Xbox Live. You would jump into lobbies again later, but for the most part, I think it was sort of that just competitive yelling over headset that still exists in like you know, Call of Duty or Siege to this day
Yes.
very much. But that was like the predominant experience, was being a 14-year-old yelling at some like, I don't know,
Really
probably an adult on Xbox Live while your
the
parents were
really
in another room.
ugly headset as well that was
Oh
like
yeah.
it was only one ear.
Oh,
It was
so
one
cheap.
ear and it was the plastic that like sat above your ear and then went all the
Mm-hmm.
way around, and then you had the cup, the tiny foam cup, and then the little microphone with the little gray. Oh,
with
the
the little
original.
3.5 millimeter like audio jack on
Yeah.
the Xbox 360. Yeah, and sometimes it wouldn't work. Your friends can't hear you, and you're like basically eating your little
It's like
microphone for.
that's
That was the best we
honestly.
had at the time.
Yeah, oh god, those headsets sucked. Those
They were
headsets
terrible.
were like actual garbage. Holy shit.
So I played a lot of Halo 3, and then I played a decent amount of GTA 4 with my friends. We got into playing that because
Yeah.
that's another one where, anything can happen in GTA 4. Actually, we spent a lot of time, like, one of the expansions for GTA 4 added like parachuting missions. I feel like these are vague
Oh
memories.
wow.
I'm not going to remember the details, but there you could climb up to the top of buildings and parachute down them. I think they're parachute races, and we spent a lot of time parachuting off of stuff in GTA 4 online. I don't remember why. It
That
must have
sounds
been
so
fun.
fun. That sounds like a great time. I just bought GTA 4 like again.
That's right. You've been playing it.
Yeah, I just bought it again. So, I never did any of the GTA 4 online stuff, but I will say, probably the most online I played on the 360 was GTA 5
Yeah.
online. Because that was like right before the next gen consoles came out.
Yes.
It was like September. The game came out September 2013. Online came out like a month later. It came out like the beginning of October, if I remember correctly. And I played like quite a bit of online in that on the 360. That is, apart from Uno and GTA Online were my experiences with Xbox Live. Yeah, I feel like Xbox Live is such a canon. It is a canon event.
Yes.
For people our age.
It is, and it was just sort of like pervaded the culture at the time as well. Like the concept of achievements, of like getting achievement points. Like, gosh, that's like different from like online gaming specifically, but it just was like in the parlance all of the time.
You'd like check other people's gamer score. Like,
yeah, back when gamer score mattered.
Right, back when it mattered. Me and my dad were always competing to see who could get the most gamer score as well, because we shared a 360. We were always like checking each other's gamer score and stuff. It was very cute.
I feel like I've shared this on this podcast before, but there was a period of time when like me and my friends were all on Xbox Live, and I'm talking like, junior, senior year of high school or something. And yeah, gamer score was big. And for like a minute there, we had like put these charts on each other's lockers of like fake gamer scores, and we would like write shit on each other's papers of like things we had done that day. The most cringe teenage behavior. Like, we thought we were so funny and interesting to have like given each other gamer score points for like doing stupid stuff in class or like whatever else. Like that's how pervasive gamer score was you could openly talk about it at school, and you were probably we were losers, but we had each other. What are some other like canon events of being a young person, like getting into gaming of your era that you remember, Molly?
Yeah, so I definitely do remember being on RuneScape. I can't remember if I've confessed this on the podcast before. I feel like I have. I definitely remember being on RuneScape, like begging for money and items.
You have talked about this.
Yeah, I feel like it was such a big thing, especially in RuneScape, like back then. I don't know what it's like now, but I just recall it being like a really big thing back then, was that you would always have people begging for money and begging for items. I don't know how common it was in other MMOs, but it was definitely a thing.
Was there a particular place you had to go in RuneScape? Like, this is where people go and stand around and say, please give me gold or armor or materials. Please give mats. Thank you.
Give mats, please. I remember vaguely being by some like maybe like market or something. I have not played a lot of RuneScape in the years since the brief period of time I spent begging. But obviously that for me, that was definitely a canon event, was the whole begging part. And then I guess like, because we didn't have Discord, if I met somebody, it would either, all our communication would either be done on a forum or it would be done through MSN. There was no alternative. And I feel like I don't know if maybe for, if it was just like for young girls specifically, or for young girls and boys, but I think there still is very much a safety issue. But
Oh
I
yeah.
feel like when I was growing up, there wasn't really anything about like adding strangers on something like MSN. I feel like MSN was a little more personal
Hmm.
than Discord can be. Discord, you can, kind of depersonalize that quite easily, whereas I think
Hmm.
MSN was a lot more personal. And I definitely had instances where I'd like added people on MSN and then very quickly realized, like, oh, this is not somebody that I should be like having this much like close
Contact with you.
contact with. Yeah. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, like, wow, like I think I got myself in trouble. And stuff like that. With that, I feel like that maybe is also a canon event, is being like 10 and accidentally adding some 40-year-old man.
Yeah, being too young for the situation and the friendship that you find yourself in, but you think you're really mature and this is okay. You don't
Yes.
realize till later, like, oh no, that
Like
was no
I
good.
this was a mistake. I think this is definitely not just a gaming thing as well. I've seen
No.
like TikToks and stuff in the past where it's like me 12 years old telling like the 25-year-old I met on DeviantArt not to kill themselves or something, something like that.
That's
Like
awful.
there's definitely like maybe a little bit of trauma among some like younger to like mid like young to mid millennials
I
who
forgot
were,
about DeviantArt for a minute.
yeah,
I hadn't
right,
thought
me
about it for a
too.
while.
Me too, but yeah, I think maybe that's a canon event, is entering into a friendship with someone who absolutely probably knew that they should not have been talking to you either.
Yeah, probably, right? And I mean, so you said that like MSN's different from Discord. And yeah, that's the thing is back then in my day, not all of your
Okay.
social accounts were not as tied together. Social media as it exists now did not exist at all. That just was not a thing. We had forums, we did not have, it was before Twitter, before Facebook, before like anything where you were like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but it was before modern social media. And yeah, your stuff wasn't all tied together. You could give someone your MSN and like it would be difficult for them to go find you somewhere else without
Yeah.
you like giving them more personal information about yourself. Like the MSN account wasn't going to go anywhere by itself, kind of. But now, like your Discord and your Twitter are tied together, which is tied to, and then your Twitter is tied to your Snapchat or whatever. Like there's just this like huge digital paper train for every person that exists. That yeah, I feel like the safety threat in the modern era is a little more like imminent. You don't have to do as much wrong to wind up in trouble.
Yeah.
And back in our era, you had to make more mistakes and make bad decisions to wind up in trouble. It felt like, but yeah, canon events. What else? I kind of wanted to talk about the existence of guilds and like the drama and the social trials of guilds because I feel like
Yeah.
that's one of my canon experiences is when you again you're a teenager, you're like 15, you're in a guild and it's run by like a 30-year-old, by someone who's like my age, and now that I am my age I'm like that's weird, that was weird for sure. And then someone gets promoted into like guild leadership and then gets mad and boots everybody from the guild, and like everybody scrambles to like re-add each other because
Yeah.
someone just went off the rails and just like nuked the
Someone went
entire
rogue.
guild. Yep, that's a canon experience of an MMO specifically, is yeah, nuking the guild.
Yeah.
Did you have any like teenage experiences with MMO guilds?
See, I was in one in Puzzle Pirates. Most of my guild experiences have come being like a grown adult with a fully developed brain. But
Mm-hmm.
I was in Puzzle Pirates. I was in a guild. I forget what they're called in Puzzle Pirates. I think they're called crews in Puzzle Pirates, which makes sense, right?
Yeah,
It's a crew. I was
thematically
in a
appropriate.
Yeah, thematically appropriate. I was in a crew called Carpe Diem. It was the first time I'd ever heard that phrase. I was in a crew called Carpe Diem, and I recall like the leader being very nice to me. I don't recall if I think it was a woman, or at least they said that they were a woman. and they said that they had a husband. So definitely, like, I was too young to be talking to this person. Whether it was actually a woman, I don't know. And I don't remember what happened to that crew. I think I stopped playing before any potential nukage could occur. But apart from that, I did meet people across my time in different online games. I've already given a shout out to Puzzle Pirates Claire in the past. Someone who was my age. Was crazy. Someone who actually was my
Puzzle
age.
Pirates Claire lore. That's a few
Puzzle
episodes
Pirates
ago.
Claire lore. Toontown did not have guilds, so that was not a thing that I could do. I used to play these dance games online as well, these like rhythm dance games online, and I can't remember if they had crews, but you could marry people. There was marriage, and I don't think I ever did that because you had to pay for it, but it was definitely a thing that was in it. But a lot of the stuff that I played did not have a form of guild, or I did not just partake in that. I guess I was I would just kind of dip in and out. I'd do a little snackage, but all of my guild nukage has come from my time in Final Fantasy 14. So I know the drama. I'm privy to drama that can occur, but from an adult's perspective now rather than a child's. Yeah.
I will say I definitely was involved in multiple guild nukings as a teenager, and I was not. Sometimes I was in the wrong too, for sure. There are people out there on the internet who may still be able to find and recognize me, and that is a horrifying knowledge to have in your brain because, like you said, the forums were big. Your guild didn't just have an in-guild; they had a guild forum always, and you know what they always had? The share selfies. They weren't called selfies then. I don't know what they were called.
When you do the face reveals and you'd post pictures of, oh my god,
another safety concern. This was a bad era.
Well, I was always clever. I say I was clever. This was back when don't ever do this. This was back when people would just steal MySpace pictures of like popular people on MySpace, and they'd be like, "This is me," and I just stole like some random like scene emo girl's selfie, and I was like, "This is me. This is who I am." And then I remember there was like, because I played I've talked about my time with IMVU before as well, which is like a social sim multiplayer type situation. And I remember I had two very good friends in that, like, from IMVU, and I remember there was a big drama because I was using a fake name and I was using a fake picture, which I stand by that. I don't stand by using someone else's picture, but I do stand by using a fake name and not sharing a picture of me. And I remember there was a big moment where it's like, my name is not actually Imogen. Imogen was the name I was using. I loved the name Imogen. I was like, my name's not actually Imogen. I was like, my name's Mollie.
We all had fake names because you had to pick something that sounded really cool and interesting.
Yeah,
and
right. I was like, my name's not Imogen. And I was like, and this is what I actually look like. It's like my little Nokia like 3310 in the mirror. I had these like disgusting yellow jeans on. And I don't know why I remember this picture specifically. I had these disgusting yellow skinny jeans on and a black t-shirt in yellow Comic Sans that said, "I throw peanuts at old people." Because that was the kind
oh, that is that era. Oh, that's horrifying. LOL, so random, rar, XD, and all that.
Yep, X3. Oh my god. Yeah. And I remember that there was
don't cite the deep magics to me. I was there when they were written.
I remember sending that to my friends, and they were like, "We don't know if we can trust you anymore." And I'm like, "Oh no, please forgive me." But it was fine. One of them, I still kept in touch with for years after that.
Yeah.
After we used to we would end up like video chatting for hours as well. She was really cool. Oh. She was cool. She's one of the actual like good outcomes of someone who was my age. She was really fun. She was Canadian and wasn't a creep. great outcome. But yeah, sorry, I totally derailed your
No.
your forum situation with the selfie reveals.
That was pretty much everything I had to say, and I didn't have to reveal anything about myself and my bad decisions. So thank you, Molly, for taking that part of the discussion for me.
Oh, you're
Seconded to
so
everything you said. Yeah, no, that
so
there was
welcome.
forums and face reveals at the time, and yeah, they and a
On
guild would
the
just like blow
internet.
up on the internet.
On
Yep.
the internet, your face on. Oh my god. To be fair,
We're all lucky to be here, is the
right,
reality. We are all
right.
lucky to have made it out of that time period,
Yes,
truthfully.
without any crimes having
Occurred,
having
yeah.
occurred. I will say I know that like selfie, face reveals are still a thing.
Mm.
When I was in my Final Fantasy 14 guild, it was a thing that people would end up doing eventually, but I feel like there's a lot more trust building that occurs fast now. Maybe it's because I'm an adult now as well, and the guild I was in were all adults. Like the youngest was 18, so I think being in a situation now where obviously I'm older, I know better. There was definitely a lot more trust that was having to be built before people were like willing to show their faces. And I found as well that when people in my guild were comfortable enough to show their face, it was usually in more of a one-on-one setting, right? It
Yeah.
wasn't happening on forums, on the internet with URLs. It was
Mm-hmm.
happening in like Discord DMs, or it was like a small group of us who played together and we would like turn our webcams on and stuff like that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're a lot more cautious of it now. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's an age thing, but yeah.
It's a little bit. It's a little bit the current culture, and it's a little bit an age thing. I think it's kind
Yeah.
of both. Um, Totally different like area. But I want to talk about the Minecraft era too, because I was not a kid for that. I was a full adult when Minecraft blew up. But I was definitely participating in like playing lots of Minecraft, meeting friends that way. Like some of my closest friends to this day are actually people I met as Twitch was rising and Minecraft was super
Oh,
huge. Minecraft and Twitch took off sort of side by side. Like they
yeah.
had sort of a parallel meteoric rise, I would
You had
say.
like the SMP servers as well, which I
Mm-hmm.
think were popping off on Twitch at one
Mm-hmm.
point as well, right?
Yes. And so that I have a lot of fond memories of playing Minecraft, and yeah, I was like 18, 19 years old, and like, I was playing it also like at like 22 or something like that, with and like meeting some of these friends that I still have to this day. But like there's a whole generation of kids whose introduction to online gaming was Minecraft, because
Was
Minecraft doesn't have
Minecraft.
to be online, but there was a big culture, yeah, of getting onto public servers, starting a server with your friends. And because I have played plenty of Minecraft in my time, I sometimes get like parents in my orbit, because I am the age where other people are parents and have children, and ask my opinions on things. And I do like to tell them that like Minecraft, I genuinely believe like Minecraft is great for kids, especially like
Yeah.
even playing online, because much as I feel cringe about some of my old guild experiences in MMOs, and man, yeah, I was a child and didn't handle things well. I think Minecraft is like sort of the kiddie pool for that experience. And I think
Yeah.
like the same kinds of things that parents think about like sports teams for their kids, of like building teamwork and leadership and whatever, and like those things are important. Touching grass is important, yes, absolutely. But Minecraft, man, if you let your kids have a Minecraft server with their 5 close friends that they know from school, you verify, you know who they are, you make sure they're being safe on the internet, and they have that server. But like you're a parent who doesn't game possibly, and you don't know what they're doing. One of them has to be in charge of that server of friends,
Mm-hmm.
and so one of them is in charge when so and so breaks this other person's house, or steals their diamonds out of their chest, or breaks the thing that they were making, like a bunch of 10 or 12-year-olds on this little server, and they have to learn how to handle that amongst
How to
themselves.
mediate those
There's no,
situations.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's no coach there, they're not at school, there's no teacher, this is just their off time, this is their playtime, and they have to set the rules, not only like reactive to situations that happen, but then they learn to be proactive too. You learn how to use like server commands and like set server side rules for your friend server, of like, where are there safe areas that like aren't like you can't break blocks in. You'll start looking up cheat codes if you're a kid and figuring out how to make those settings work on your server, to like create an environment for your friends where everybody can play nicely together. And that's so valuable. Like that's so
Yeah.
important. Like,
I never
yeah,
considered that. That definitely feels like something that would be cool, and it's kind of what worries me about like Roblox and stuff. Like I am self-admittedly, my knowledge of Roblox is like very, very, very slim.
same.
But I feel like just the expansiveness of it all feels like a little terrifying. And
Hmm.
how do you regulate that? How do
Hmm.
you continue to like make sure that that's a safe environment? You know, when you've got a Minecraft server, like you say, and you verify the people that are on it, and you make sure that that doesn't get opened up to anyone else. That's, you know, you're getting the online experience, but in quite a safe and controlled environment. But then I don't know, like when we move into like the Robloxes and the Fortnites of it all. I
Hmm.
feel like the Fortnite. Oh my god, how old am I? I
The full
worry that
plural.
the Fortnite. I worry that like is Fortnite like the new like COD lobby? You know, people like when people are like, oh, you wouldn't last a day in a COD lobby, and then like my friend was telling me about how he was at work and this small child just like very loudly said a racial slur, and both of our first thoughts was like, is that a Fortnite kid? We should be thinking that. We should be thinking, is that apologies to all the very fine and normal and sane Fortnite kids out there. But it's like I just always worry. I think I'm getting old. I worry about like regulating these spaces where there's voice chat and there's
Yeah.
loads of different places to go.
The more things change, the more they don't change. Because we were just talking about Xbox Live, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
those Halo lobbies, those COD lobbies, like they were awful, and I'm sure the voice lobbies of today are still awful. And same thing with Minecraft. Like we were just talking about, like meeting strangers, joining guilds, whatever. And yeah, my like ideal Minecraft experience for like a 12-year-old is your friends in your class, in your like elementary school class. Are you still in elementary school at 12? Maybe. I don't know. You might be in middle school. Anyway, your friends in your class, your IRL buddies. But I think definitely there was still also a culture of, they were like public servers. Like you could like, someone could be renting
Yeah.
a server or hosting a server and post about it somewhere in a forum, because there was still a little bit of forum action going on. Like there are Minecraft related forums
You had
or
like
Reddit or something.
The Hunger Games
Yeah.
servers and stuff
Or
like that.
even just like build servers too, where like you were meant to like log in and play as if it was your friends, but they were strangers, and it was a public one where they were just like whitelisting people. And I feel like there probably are plenty of kids that had experiences with that are similar to the experiences that we remember of like
Yeah.
weird unmonitored MMOs. Like there was that side to Minecraft, I think, that existed as well. So yeah,
Hmm.
the more the more things change, the more they don't. I think the bad decisions we made are still very possible to make and very similar. I don't think it's actually changed that much. Just a little bit of the landscape, a little bit of the technology has
I think
changed in
there's
the
more
meantime.
awareness now as well, right? Because a lot of parents now are people that
Grew up,
were
yeah.
they're people that were in that era. They grew up in it, you
Who
know.
already
They
made all their bad decisions and they know
yeah,
which ones are likely to happen.
they fought in that war.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like, you know, like you say, I think, you know, things change but things stay the same. But I think there's at least that little bit more awareness now because people our age have kids. They've been in the trenches. They know they know what happens in the RuneScapes and the COD
Mm-hmm.
lobbies of the world. And
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, yeah, it's I think it's you're never going to fully regulate the kind of wild west that is just online games,
Yeah.
but I think they can be very good for you. I think, you know, I am very glad that I grew up with online games. I have a lot of fond memories playing my online games.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, good, bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. You learn things about yourself
You
that you would
do.
not otherwise learn. I don't know. There was also like MySpace at the time, right? And like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Just look, your brain is still growing. You're learning what kind of person you want to be.
To all the
Whether
10
it's
year olds that are
because
listening to this podcast.
Are there any? I don't know that there are. There shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. Or else they need to have more monitoring going on their phone time, probably. You should pay attention to which Minecraft server your kids are logging into and which gaming podcast. It probably shouldn't be this one.
Because 10-year-olds notorious for loving a good podcast.
Yeah. You know, do 10-year-olds love podcasts? I don't know. I don't know many 10-year-olds right now. I'll be super real with you.
I don't know any 10-year-olds, but I can't imagine, like, if I knew a 10-year-old being like, what podcast do you listen to? They'd be like, huh?
I bet I would have been a like 12-year-old that listened to podcasts.
Yeah.
I bet I would have found that very mature of myself, and I would have been into listening to podcasts, and yeah. That's they shouldn't be here either though. Anyway, yeah. That's, and then what era of like we're in like the Roblox, the Among Us, like what else is the canon experience of like I said, I do think it's Discord. I think Discord is actually the true entry point to online gaming right now.
God, I'm so glad I didn't have Discord.
Oh yeah. Talk about like guilds, but it's your whole life though. Like it's your entire online experience. You can't like escape to DeviantArt comments section at any point.
Yeah, it's a lot less like you said, right? It's a lot less fragmented now than it used to be, and I think that makes it kind of hard sometimes, just how interconnected everything is. Yeah, very glad that Discord didn't exist when I was growing up.
Yeah. No, because I think the experience now is, I mean, when Discord was starting, I was definitely in a lot of servers made by friends who were like on Twitch or whatever else. I was very big at the time. Discord and Twitch very like hand in hand early on as well. And like you would participate in like several different friends' servers like actively. And now like, whoa, there's too much information coming at me on the internet all of the time.
For everything.
Yeah, I'm just in the group chat, man. That's where I participate. I'm just in the group chat. Like I've got 2-3 of them tops active group chats with friends. I don't really participate in any of the servers I'm in. I'm just in them for work to keep track of announcements and updates from like upcoming games pretty much. But yeah, I think that's the experience is add your friends on Discord, start the group chat, and then figure out what you're going to play together that way. Is the group chat playing Overwatch tonight? Is the group chat playing Among Us tonight? What are we doing? And I think that is, the current entry point to not even online gaming. You might not even be playing any online games. You might just be online and also gaming separately.
Yeah.
These days.
These days.
These days. Kids these days. As I've said before, I am kids these days in some ways. Sometimes I am the one who's the problem.
Yeah.
Anyway,
me too.
other core online gaming experiences. Anything you want to end out on?
Core gaming experience that is still true today is getting the DM after like a match or after any online game. You know, the Xbox messages notorious, but even now, like when I play fighting games, if you look at a fighting game player's Steam profile, there is undoubtedly some kind of BM or some kind of argument happening because someone's come to your profile to leave you shit. Was happening 20 years ago and is still happening now. It is a beautiful ritual that will never disappear.
Yeah. All I have to say is forgive yourself for the cringe of your past. Forgive yourself for being a teenager on the internet. We were all awful. Every single one of us. So embarrassing. It was an embarrassing time to be alive. 2008 for me. That was the most embarrassing time to be alive on the internet. And 2015, not much better. And now the kids these days of today, give yourself grace. You're so embarrassing, I'm sure. I don't have any problem with you, but later on you're going to be so embarrassed, and that's okay. So are we all. That's all right. Well, Molly, thank you for coming today and just confessing our sins about being young gamers on the internet. It was quite a time.
Again, the good, the bad, and the ugly, you know.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. Exactly. Bye. Oh, wait, hold on. Before I say goodbye,
You
wait.
have to do the thing.
It's been a minute. We've been on a little bit of break, depending on when this episode actually airs. Apologies. You can read things from Molly and I about MMOs. We both actually write about MMOs, like a decent amount, I would say.
Yeah.
On PCGamer.com. That's where all the usual news, reviews, and opinions and guides and all that great stuff is located. And as usual, you can talk with Molly and I about this week's episode at forums.pcgamer.com.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks. We've missed you.
Okay, now we can say goodbye.
Bye.